All right, so today we're diving into a pretty intense mythic confrontation. We're talking about a challenge to a divine order that's seemingly set in stone, and the sudden arrival of a figure who isn't about salvation, but about a complete, shattering transformation. So yeah, let's get right into this story of rebellion. This one idea, this is the absolute key. You gotta forget everything you might think you know about a passive, gentle divinity. This whole thing kicks off with a total rejection of that image. Instead, we're introduced to a force that's active, it's defiant, and it is anything but meek.
Now, to really get a grip on this rebellion, we first have to understand the world it's pushing back against. And that's the world of the Inquisitors, an entire order built on the foundation of unshakable, unyielding certainty.
Their whole existence is basically defined by this concept called the spirit of gravity. Just imagine this heavy, leaden weight that anchors everything down, right? It resists all change, all flight, all newness. That's the very spiritual atmosphere they live and breathe in.
You see, their world isn't built on faith in a living, breathing sense. No, it's all about the dusty parchment of old rules. They literally live inside what's called a heavy stone house of rigid, completely unchangeable belief.
And what's the result of all that gravity and all that dogma? Well, you get complete and total stasis. Their whole domain is described as a mausoleum of stasis. It's like a tomb where meaning is fixed forever, vitality is completely suppressed, and everything has already been decided.
But that mausoleum, it is about to be shattered because a violent, a vital, and an utterly alive force is on its way.
Okay, here's the essential conflict in a nutshell. On one side, you've got the figure they created, the one born from their dogma, the Christ of dusty parchment. And on the other, you have the hero king of the depths, whose very existence is a fundamental attack on their entire reality.
He is no shepherd. He's a warrior. This is a being who literally wrestled with old gods down in the underworld, and he came back different, fundamentally changed, with skin like flint and eyes of cold fire, and he completely rejects the herd mentality, the morality of the credulous mob. So this clash, it just keeps building into the core conflict of the whole story. And it's not just a battle of wills, it's a battle between two fundamental forces of the universe itself. And here it is, laid out side by side. The Inquisitors, they are defined by that spirit of gravity, heavy, anchored, static. But the Uccini Christ, he embodies the spirit of becoming. He's this fluid, active, thrumming force. He represents a kind of superhuman vitality that just can't be contained inside their stone house of dogma.
So, how does a fluid force like that fight an enemy that's literally made of stone? Well, not with fists. He uses a far more corrosive weapon, a complete philosophical dismantling of their entire worldview.
I mean, really think about that for a second. When an entire institution is built on its own sense of unshakable authority and just pure pride, how do you even begin to take that apart?
Well, here's the answer. He confronts them with something called the logic of zero. And it is a terrifying challenge. It's basically saying, face the void, face the abyss, and let's see what's left of you when all your titles, all your robes, all that institutional armor is stripped away.
This is the challenge he literally lays at their feet. He's asking them to bet everything they are, their entire institutional pride, against the abyss itself. To, sign a contract with nothingness. It forces them to justify their existence from scratch. It's an absolutely masterful rhetorian's trap.
And the consequence of this philosophical showdown, it's devastating. The Inquisitors' own purpose, the very fire that drives them, gets turned back against them.
You can see their downfall in 4 simple steps. They start their holy mission of purification, right? But they walk right into his trap. And their tribunal, once this great symbol of their power, becomes a tribunal of ash. Their own purifying fire turns into this purposeless inferno, and it doesn't consume heresy, it consumes their own rigid, hollow meanings.
And that, right there, is the ultimate outcome. That heavy stone house, that tomb of fixed ideas, it gets shattered. And not out of malice, but because this vital, almost destructive force was necessary to break the stasis and allow for something new to actually grow.
And so, the story leaves us with this final, unavoidable choice. When you're confronted with the void, when all the old certainties have burned to ash, what's left? Do you fall back on the old ways, on a kind of mechanical condemnation of the world? Or do you find the strength for something else, for a relentless affirmation of existence in all its terrifying, beautiful becoming.